All right, guys, I cannot believe this, but the Mets are up 8-3 in the ninth inning with a chance to go to the World Series, and it's all up to Famliia to close it out one more time for the Mets against the Cubs. This is Bobby Gaines here with another kind of, obviously I'll be watching this game very closely as it is Game 4 of the NLCS, but I just want to take a moment to really congratulate the Mets because it looks like they're going to go to the Fall Classic, and let me say to say goodbye again how sorry I am for picking against the Mets in the first round of the playoffs. Even so, I thought the Dodgers were a better matchup for them than the Cubs. I thought the Cubs would show a little more than this, though. I'm kind of surprised how easily the Cubs have gone down. Once the Mets beat Arrieta and Lester, it seemed like almost, I don't know, not a sure thing, but it seemed like the Mets were on their way. But to think that they are, 3 outs away from their first pennant since 2000 is kind of remarkable. Very remarkable, actually. And this is a Mets team that had a lot of potential going into the season. I'm not going to sit here and say I had them going to the World Series, but the Mets are kind of funny. Because there are some years that I really expect them to do better than they do, between just some of their offseason acquisitions and pitching prospects and whatnot. But this is like the first year that they've really put it all together. Matt Harvey, Noah Syndergaard, Jacob deGrom, even Steven Matz, who didn't go deep into this game, but he didn't really need to because the Mets scored 6 runs in the first 2 innings. So just everything came together for the Mets this season to the point where, you wonder going forward, even if this is replicable, whatever the word I'm looking for is, because you look at the Washington Nationals a few years ago, not to get all weird on you, but, the Nationals had a young pitching core, or so they thought, coming up through the ranks, and Bryce Harper and all their big bats, and they thought that they'd be making the postseason every year. That hasn't quite happened, but the Mets are taking advantage of their opportunity here, their first playoff appearance in 9 years, and it looks like they're going to be going a step further and going to the World Series to play either the Royals or the Blue Jays. My money's on the Royals, but we'll see what happens in that series. So right now, Mets looking to get 3 more outs to send them to the Fall Classic. And, just going further into the resiliency of the Mets and just kind of what I really like about this team, besides just their good pitching, as there is 1 out in the ninth. And really, the Mets, like I said, not only were they not, I don't want to say they were underdogs, but during the season, people didn't pay as much attention to them as they should have because, I don't know, I guess there was a perception that the Washington Nationals would eventually overtake them for the division. And the Nationals were a lot of people's picks to make the World Series or win the World Series. Nationals end up missing the playoffs, due in no small part to the Mets, who seemed to beat them every chance they got, especially down the stretch. So those games weren't even close. This game isn't even close, which, don't get me wrong. I want to see the Mets win. I want to see the Mets do well, and I'm happy they're doing well. But I'm not going to lie, it's taken some wind out of my sails in terms of getting really amped up or whatever. That Dodgers series, when the games were 2-1 or 3-1, I was getting really pumped about every single at-bat. But 8-3 in the ninth with 1 out, as much as I want to see the Mets make the World Series, I'd be a little more on edge if it was like 2-1. As 2 outs, 1 out to go until the Mets go back to the World Series. So let's see it now. Cubs need 5 runs with 1 out to go. Let's see if they can do it. But anyway, it reminds me of the NBA Finals with the Mets and the Mets. See, I'm going to get the Mets on my mind here. They got the brooms out in New York getting ready for what could be the final out of the NLCS. But yeah, this almost reminds me of the Spurs and Heat finals, the one that the Spurs won when they just blew the Heat out. And it was awesome, don't get me wrong. And in fact, that was a lot more awesome because I hated LeBron James at the time and I hated the Miami Heat. And, I don't hate the Cubs. I think they could do a little better job looking for balls and Ivy, but besides that, I don't really hate the Cubs. So it's nothing against the Cubs. And even in this situation, again, it's kind of anticlimactic. Because, the Mets are going to win at this point. Just like I knew the Spurs were going to win by, the second quarter of that last game. Because they were ahead by so many. But that doesn't make it any less special, obviously. Not too often I see one of my favorite teams make the World Series. Look like a strike, but whatever. Umpire's going to screw them right until the end, of course. I got to give that to the umpires. They're a consistent obstacle. No matter who you root for or why you root for them, it's always the umpires just kind of standing in your way to go, not so fast. I'm going to break the rule now. Okay, good. That one was a strike, even though it was outside the strike zone. So umpires like to get screwy with everybody, but of course we can never question them because they are infallible and perfect in every way. A lot of cool stuff to like in this postseason. A lot of intensity in all the games, the Mets games and the American League games. That's what's going to make this World Series so remarkable, whoever it is, as the Mets prepare to celebrate what would be an amazing NL Pennant. The pennant will rise. Wow, he's already got the shirt on. That's kind of funny. As the Cubs get ready for their season to end yet again without a world title. Sorry, Back to the Future fans. I guess it didn't happen. But hey, the Cubs had a really good season. I mean, I don't think there's anything to be ashamed about. I didn't think they'd win 97 games. I didn't think that they would be in this situation even. So I have a feeling this isn't the last postseason that we'll be seeing in Chicago over the next few years. And, the Mets could be there again, too. But right now, it's about 2015 and about a potential World Series appearance by the Mets, who have made this look all too easy. Again, I'm really shocked as they show who will most likely be the MVP of the series, Bartolo Colon, in the dugout. I joke, but he does pitch a lot. Did he go? That would have been kind of funny. I'm almost glad that wasn't it, because I didn't really want to go nuts on that. That was like an indecisive swing. I like when the series ends on like a big swing and a miss, really no doubter there. Alright, so the Cubs have a runner on with 2 outs in the ninth. You could have said he went. It doesn't really matter, to be honest with you. Murphy was going like he went. Again, I'm not going to get too nuts over that. And there are plenty of calls to get mad about. Knowing the umpires, there'll probably be some calls in the World Series to get mad about. But hey, it's just more ammo for the Cubs. Obstruction. Or the Mets, rather. Is that Dexter Fowler? Wouldn't mind hitting him before the series ends. Dexter Fowler, who couldn't find a ball, and 2 inches of ivy. It is Dexter Fowler. Wouldn't mind hitting him. It's a 5-run game. Give him a little headache before he goes into the off-season. Really don't like Dexter Fowler, in case you can't tell. Yeah! Get him! I love when they go inside on him. Did you find the ball that time? Where was it? Was it in the ivy? That would have been great if that hit him. That was so close. It's all right, Famliia. You almost got him. I was more excited about that than the potential World Series. Damn, that was nice. Let's do it again. Nah. Wrong idea. It's all right, though. That one pitch that almost hit him was pretty nice. Give him a little something to think about for the offseason. Maybe work on your fielding drills, trying to find the ball in the ivy. I know it's difficult when it gets lost in the 2 inches of grass, but, you live. In case you forgot what the ball looks like, here's what it looks like coming at 95 miles an hour. Just a little heads up, literally. All right, Famliia with the 1-2. Foul ball. Again, full disclosure, I am a Mets fan, but I'm not like a heavy Mets supporter like these guys with the Mets jerseys on. I am a Red Sox fan. Yes, it's true. I enjoy the Red Sox when they're not a horrible disgrace to the game of baseball and everything that it embodies. And I enjoy teams like the Mets who pitch well and hit well and support each other as a team and give it their all every time out and don't let some, really stupid calls get them down. I love that kind of thing. So it's really been fun to watch the Mets these 2 series. And hopefully there's more to come. Did he go that time? Anybody? No. Alright, cool. That's good. I wasn't done talking. But yeah, like I said, I am a Mets supporter. I did get this hat, specifically for the purpose. I plan to keep wearing it, of course. I will be, rooting for the Red Sox next season, for what that's worth. But right now, I really want to see the Mets get to the World Series up against the Cubs. Come on. Come on, Cubs. Cubs fans getting up like there's really a chance here. Jorge Soler on deck. He's 3 for 4. Let's see if we can keep him from batting. Full count. 2 outs. Runner on second. In the pitch from Famliia. And it's fouled back by Fowler. Had no problem seeing the ball that time. It's only when it goes into a little tiny bit of ivy that he loses sight of it, apparently. But I guess that makes sense, because when you've been playing baseball all your life and a ball rolls under some grass, it's hard to see it. You know, you're not used to that kind of thing. Even though you play at Wrigley Field for so many games a year, you figure, no, never came up. Never came up. Just let the ball stay in there. Because you can't see it, you know? The ivy grows so big and just so cumbersome around the ball. Like, no one's ever gotten the ball out of the ivy. Once it touches the ivy, it may as well be in China. Like, it's pretty much just gone. And that's why Dexter Fowler couldn't find it. So, you know, poor guy. Yeah! 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 Where's your towel now, Cubby fans? Where's your towel now? As the Mets celebrate on the field, 2015 NL champions, 5th pennant in franchise history, going to the World Series for the first time since they went against the Yankees in 2000. Hopefully this one has a better result, but for as of right now, Famliia closing it out for the last game of this NLCS. Fans of New York loving it. I'm loving it. Say Goodbye's loving it wherever he is right now. Wouldn't be surprised if Say Goodbye found his way to Citi Field for the World Series, but that's another story for another day. We did it, buddy. I am really happy for you. I'm really happy for Mets Nation right now. You guys earned it completely. You've had great pitching this entire season, and it has carried over marvelously into the postseason. The offense has come up at just the right times. Daniel Murphy's hitting out of his mind. I think Chase Utley and all the crap that happened in the first series really spurred the Mets on. I think, you know, you mess with any team, a team with as much talent as New York, and, you know, something's going to happen. It was just a matter of time. So the Mets sweep the Cubs in the National League Championship Series. They go on to face either the Royals or the Blue Jays in the Fall Classic. Should be a great one. I'll be back for that, of course. But right now, let's go Mets. On to the next round, the Fall Classic. Congratulations, New York Mets, your 2015 NL champions.